I'm here at one of the best places to eat in Waco, and if you'd like to get in, then you better start putting on some pads, working out, and going to class, because this place is reserved for Baylor student athletes only.
The Beecham Athletics Nutrition Center is a special dining hall where the science behind feeding college athletes and ways to make sure they're consuming the correct nutritional benefits for their sport each day is top priority. To find out more on the science aspect of feeding college athletes, I met up with Timothy DeLeo, who is the Associate Director of Sports Nutrition for Baylor Athletics.
So how important is a balanced nutrition and correct diet for these athletes in their performance?
I mean, nutrition is a huge piece of their performance. It's often one of the most overlooked pieces of performance because I would say it's kind of a newer piece of performance because a lot of athletes, they know strength and conditioning is important, get bigger, faster, stronger. They know, like from the sport medicine side, taking care of their bodies, that's important, going to treatment, taking care of their injuries, bumps and bruises, but a lot of times they overlook nutrition. So we try to educate them on how nutrition can really impact their performance in a positive way.
What is the difference between feeding each sport, like feeding a football player versus feeding an equestrian rider?
I mean, just across all sports, they have different needs. Some calorie needs, protein needs. So like for power sports, you think of football, you think of our acrobatics and tumbling team, like very power-based sport, anaerobic sports, so higher protein needs, maybe lower carb needs. Our distance runners, track teams, maybe higher carbohydrate needs. So it's a lot of different science that goes into feeding the different athletes in different sports.
So it does vary?
Yeah, it can vary across all sports.
Does it vary between sports and athletes? So like different athletes in the sport would eat differently than
exactly. Yep. So football, for example, the lineman might have different needs than a wide receiver, or for track, someone who's a sprinter might have different needs than a thrower or a long distance runner. So we kind of fine tune all those different things across individual sports and across all different teams.
Is there a correlation between nutrition and what they're eating and then how they perform on the field or on the court? And then if there is a correlation, what would that be?
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of times we're looking at injury prevention. So are they staying healthy? Because the best ability is availability. So we want to make sure that they're fueling their bodies properly for injury prevention. Fueling their bodies properly just to have fuel to go on the court. We also look at body composition. So we're able to look at, what's their fat mass, what's their fat-free mass, and kind of adjust their nutrition based on their specific goals for their sport. Weight gain, weight loss, all that kind of thing.
What is one food that you would never want to serve here?
So I would say that I don't believe in good or bad foods, so we definitely serve, all kinds of foods here. Even we have dessert here every now and then, because what it really comes down to is timing. So, if you're going to have a hamburger might not be the best food right before a big game, but a celebration game or an off day, you could definitely enjoy a hamburger or ice cream, things like that, more fun foods. You can enjoy those things away from competition.
Talk to me about desserts here. What are the athletes? When do they get dessert? How much dessert? What kind of dessert? Talk about you.
So that's usually at Chef Tracy's discretion, depending on how the athletes are doing during the week. But usually we'll put out some cookies, cheesecakes every now and then, birthday cakes for birthday celebrations, but that's usually every now and then.
Do you know if there's a universal favorite food here among all the athletes?
Breakfast for dinner, I think, is really popular. So they love pancakes, French toast, eggs are popular. I mean, the omelet station in the morning gets absolutely, there's a huge line over there during the morning in the action station, so whenever they get it at dinner, they love it even more.
How specific do you get in the difference between weekly meals and game day meals?
So weekly meals and game day meals wouldn't change all that much. What we're really trying to provide on game day is quick digesting food, so a lot of carbohydrates to fuel the activity, a little bit of protein, especially pre-game, whereas the dinner meals where it might be away from competition, we might have those like less leaner meats like your steak or things like that. For the most part, pre-game is mostly higher carbohydrate content, a little bit of protein, and then obviously pushing fluids because hydration is big down here in Texas.
Yep, a little hot out here.
Yeah, very hot.
In the end, there is really only one key factor in making sure Baylor athletes are consuming the right type of food and the right amount of food, and that falls to Chef Tracy.
We do breakfast and dinner. Breakfast is traditionally eggs, bacon, and then we also have a whole section here with about 12 to 17 different kinds of cut fruit every morning for them. So you made to order smoothies, made to order sandwiches, scrambles, omelets. At night, it's a whole smorgasbord of food. We try to let our athletes make healthy choices, but then also realizing that you are 18 to 20 years old and sometimes you need comfort food. So we have a very big mixture of lots of veggies, lots of grains, and then like tonight we have grilled cheese as well.
Who do you think eats the most here? What athlete or what sport do you think eats the most here?
It would surprise you kind of pound for pound. It depends on where an athlete is in their season. So definitely the football team right now is on the practice field. They will come in very hungry just because they've come off the practice field, but the volleyball team will do the same thing. You can't say, oh, the football team eats the most, because pound for pound, volleyball and acro eat a lot as well. So does equestrian, so does baseball.
Are there any special themed nights here? Like at the dining hall on campus, we have Wing Wednesday. Do y'all have any special nights like that, or days of the week?
Certain days, like today, there's always like a specialty tossed salad. Our kids love that. Always once a week, there's a pasta night, just because they love it, and also for nutritional reasons. You want carbohydrates before you play. So our exhibition station is very active. We also try to celebrate each holiday with some interesting things. Thanksgiving, for example, we will do a whole spin on Thanksgiving that's very different than, we call it Not Your Mom Thanksgiving, so it's Chef Tracy's Thanksgiving. So we try to do those things as well.
So is there any special tactics or things you do to make sure that every athlete gets a plate with the correct food on it? And
we watch a lot. We work with nutrition, so if there's a kid that needs to gain weight or lose weight, Tim or other nutritionists will tell me, and we'll keep an eye on those kids. I kind of patrol the dining room, and they know if you're going to eat the bad thing, you better have some good stuff on your plate as well. So we try to do that with them, yeah.
And is there any special favorite dish that you like to prepare here?
The most thing that I'm most interested in doing right now are our power bowls, because that is a complete meal in a bowl besides protein, and it's been a big response. It's a very form of clean eating that our athletes have embraced, and we're getting ready to do a smoothie bowl and things like that at breakfast as well.
So that's your favorite dish to prepare then?
Yeah, the power bowls are my favorite because there's a lot of different components.
So what's on the menu today? Well, it depends on the season your team is in, the body type you're working towards, and most importantly, what the nutritionists and Chef Tracy have prepared for you.
For Lariat TV News, I'm Elizabeth Tharp, and bon appetit.